Greetings, critters. It's Fox here, and welcome to my Girl of Thoughts, aka my channel, where we talk about everything spooky. And today is going to be a spooky birthday horror haul. So settle into your burrows because things are about to get spooky. So I just thought I'd show you some of the goodies I got for my birthday. So first, I have a Led Zeppelin tee, little acid wash action. Then I have this awesome Metallica tie-dye skull situation going on with this t-shirt. Freaking love it. And then I have System of a Down Toxicity t-shirt because this is one of my favorite albums ever. And then we move on to the horror stuff. So these are the two horror shirts that I was gifted. I can't believe that they found these, let alone gifted them to me. Like, I really, really, really love them. So first, I have a Jason Voorhees tie-dye shirt. Super awesome. I'm Canadian, so you put a hockey mask on a machete-wielding villain and you got yourself a consumer of that franchise. So really love it. Then we have the supposed gag gift that actually is my favorite gift. It is the Exorcist shirt. First off, it's tie-dye. Second off, it's in my favorite color, greens. But if you don't know this about me, I am terrified of The Exorcist, and let me explain why. Okay, here's my thing about the movie The Exorcist. So first off, the first time I ever saw it all the way through was when I was 13. I watched it up at the cottage, my grandma's cottage that hadn't been renovated yet. So the cottage itself was kind of spooky. It was really old, you know? Anyway, so I watch it and I end up terrified. I'm talking, I was trembling with fear. I ended up not being able to sleep for 3 days straight. I just stayed up all night and just shook like a leaf. The first night at the cottage that I watched it, I was shaking so bad that I was rattling the metal bed frame, kind of like The Exorcist. The bed was shaking. And suffice to say, I wasn't allowed to watch horror movies for a little bit after I saw that one. But to this day, I cannot watch The Exorcist all the way through. The last time I watched it all the way through was when I was 13. Now, mind you, every Halloween season, usually on Halloween when I really want to be scared, I attempt to watch it. I just cannot get through it. And for some reason, it just stuck with me. And I think it's hysterical that The Exorcist is a movie that terrifies me the most, giving my spirituality and stuff. You wouldn't think it would affect myself as much, but I guess when you watch it super young, parts of it really, really stick with you. So yeah, that's my story of The Exorcist, and that's why I was gifted the shirt. The person thought it'd be hilarious for me to open it and scream. And I did open it, look at it, and go, huh. But it's green and my favorite color, so I'm gonna wear it. But I have a suspicion that when I do wear it, I'm probably going to look in the mirror at one point during the day, see the face, and jump. Possibly a little yelp. I don't know. It just stuck with me. The Exorcist is probably the most terrifying movie, in my opinion, to me. And I think they're remaking it too. And I'm going to give it a go when it comes out, but I honestly can say I'll probably be terrified of the remake as well. Okay, let's get on to the literature that I got for my birthday. So the first book I got, now mind you, the reason I got all these books was because I have a TBR list on my fridge. And it's really easy to find my TBR on like Goodreads and stuff like that. So all of this is off my to be read list and to be bought list. So let's dive in. The first book that was bought for me is Last Days by Adam Nevill. So what this book is about is an indie documentarian filmmaker, if you will, is approached to make a documentary about a infamous cult and its bloody history and its ultimate downfall. But he soon realizes that this opportunity he's given is going to take him to some pretty dark places that he may not be able to come back from. So I put this on my TBR because I was obsessed with The Vessel by Adam Nevill, and I really, really wanted to give his other works a try. So The Last Days is a thicker book, and I wanted to start also reading bigger reads that take more investment and also maybe a little bit more mainstream other than just indie authors. But don't fret, I will always review indie authors because that's just my flavor. But this seems to have a really good premise. I'm hoping for something paranormal or supernatural, something along those lines. But with it being a cult, it could very well be that apocalyptic mentality. So super stoked to read this, Last Days by Adam Nevill. The next book that was grabbed for me is Banquet for the Damned by Adam Nevill. So like I already said, I really wanted to dive into Adam Nevill's books, and this is a really interesting premise. The main reason I put it on my TBR is it says on the front cover, Britain's answer to Stephen King. I don't like Stephen King, so I'm a little nervous to read this one. However, it could go the opposite direction. Maybe this is for people that aren't really in love with Stephen King's writing style or his books in general, and this is the good answer to it. A similar answer, but not quite the same. So that's what I'm hoping for. Now, what this book is about is there is a university with a professor that is known for being in the occult and being able to commune with the paranormal. His interest is of that field. Now, in the university to which he works at, students are being plagued by night terrors, and then soon following those terrors, go missing. So he knows that it's up to him and his expertise to stop whatever evil has descended upon the university campus. Like I said, Adam Nevill, totally obsessed with right now. Really want to read most of their works. And it is another thicker book, so I'm super stoked to dive into this one. It sounds paranormal to me, so I really hope that my assumptions are true. Now, I know I always say don't go into a book with expectations or hopes. Alas, I'm breaking my own rule. I hold to hope that this will be a paranormal read of some sort. The second book I got off my TBR is The Vanishing by Wendy Webb. Now, what this book is about is a woman is contacted to be a caregiver for someone. And she thinks, easy peasy lemon squeezy, this is what I do for a living. But when she finds out that the shut-in that she's going to be caring for is a horror author that's presumed to be dead, she thinks things are going to get complicated and mysterious right quick. And they do. So I read The Stroke of Winter by Wendy Webb, and I liked it pretty well enough that I wanted to read more of her work. She is a Canadian author as well, and I want to get into more Canadian authors and support, you know, my nation's authors. So this just sounded really intriguing. It sounds like it's going to be more of a mystery. Now, The Stroke of Winter, somewhere on this shelf, I did mention in that review that I had a lot of romance in it that I wasn't keen on. But now sitting upon that review, I realized sometimes it's not bad to change up the tropes in horror. It's good to kind of freshen up things with maybe a love interest or more mystery than horror, and so on and so forth. So I'm super stoked to dive into this. The Vanishing by Wendy Webb. Okay, the last book I got is The Last Word by Taylor Adams. Now, I literally just put this on my TBR like maybe 4 to 5 weeks before my birthday. So I'm really shocked that I made it into this grab and this gifting that I was given. So Taylor Adams, I have Hairpin Bridge, but I haven't dove into it yet. The last word, I was really intrigued by the premise. Hairpin Bridge deals with a twin. I'm a twin, so it spoke to me. Just haven't read it yet. Now, when I heard Taylor Adams had written a book that was about the following, I just had to read it, just had to. So what this book is about is a woman named Emma is reading books like it's going out of style. And when she comes across a horror book that she really dislikes and gives a negative review for, she soon wonders if the author is just sensitive or dangerous. So I'm expecting this to be like a lot of cat and mouse. I heard that it leans more toward horror than mystery, which Taylor Adams apparently is known for. So I'm super stoked to get into this because I myself review books and constantly worry that I've offended authors. I found this premise really intriguing. So The Last Word by Taylor Adams, super stoked to read, super stoked I got it. Then I got some movies. One hasn't arrived yet, it's supposed to come today. It was delayed, but I'll show you what I have so far. So I got The Haunting. This is from 1999. It is just a nostalgic movie for me. I don't think it's like mind-boggling good. It's just a subpar horror movie with Liam Neeson and Catherine Zeta-Jones, as well as the mother from the first Conjuring movie. So I was gifted this because I kept talking about how it was my first horror movie I ever watched. So that's a super sweet gift that I got, The Haunting. The next movie I was gifted is a Blu-ray edition of Lake Placid. If you don't know what this movie is about, it's about a monster crocodile that is wreaking havoc in the lakes of Maine, and shit ensues from there. It is such a good watch. I love it. It has Betty White in it with some comedic relief. It's just such a solid creature feature, in my opinion. Not ashamed at all. This is one of my top 10 movies ever. Comedies, horror, action. This is in my top 10. I love it. My family owned a video store, and this is one of the first movies I remember watching from it. So I've always been obsessed with it. Couldn't find a copy for a long time, and I'm so stoked that this was gifted to me, and let alone in Blu-ray. Okay, ignore the condition of the case. It arrived to me this way, but I couldn't just return it and wait even longer because 13 Ghosts. Misery Loves Company. Oh my goodness. I love this movie. This is in my top 5 horror movies I've ever watched. I love this movie. I watch it a sickening amount, probably about 2 to 3 times a month. I will have this on either in the background or be fully invested. This story just, I love it. It's basically about a man who's gone through hard times and he inherits a house from his uncle. And in the basement, there are trapped, caged 13 ghosts, and stuff ensues from there. But the ghosts in this movie are the most terrifying ghosts I've ever seen in a movie. I don't think a lot of animation in this one. I think it's all costume, makeup, and special effects. It is really cool, really well done. I love every moment of this movie. Again, in my top 5 horror movies ever. Watch it all the time. If you haven't seen it, please go watch it. It's seriously so good. Oh, this next gift is just so heartwarming. My twin sister made this sign for me for my YouTube videos. Fox and her thoughts. It's so cute, and she made it all herself. I'm so blessed. She's so supportive, and I love her so much for making this for me. It's just so sweet, so thoughtful, and she's always been really supportive of me reading a bunch, but then also convinced me to start a YouTube channel for it, and I honestly feel like I owe her the world. She means so much to me. And to get something like this is just really thoughtful and really sweet, and I really love it. It's just so cute. Like, look. She even did the cursive that I do. Like, come on. It's so perfect. And a little book reading box. Well, critters, that's all from this Den of Frights today. Thank you so much for being here and watching and your support. It means the whole wide and wild wilderness to me. It really does, critters. And until next time, stay cozy, stay spooky. Bye.